Okay, I have all the slots cut in them, in the tops. Now I had to dial in the tooling ball to do the 440 hole in them. So, and I'm not sure if I dialed that in or not. So it was 625, I believe. See if I can find it. I believe I'm thinking it was in line with that. Just a second here. So we're sitting in there like this. Looking at my drawing here again. And that's right, I don't think I had the dimension on this one. I have to go to this one. I got too many drawings out here. So now that's to the spark plug hole. That's still not the right drawing. I'll find it. That one's for the spark plug hole, because I had missed dimensions on the drawings and went back in and reprinted it, and I should have just threw them away, the ones that I okay. Center line out. I believe they're right in line with the valve holes, if I remember right. I'm trying to 625. Right? Oops. 625. See, I had dialed it in already once and was going to start, and then the slots were not quite finished out to the end, so. And I'm seeing if this is it. If this is the spot. Nope. It's obviously not the spot. All right, what gives here? Dial this in and then find my dimension. 0. It bottomed out. It bottomed out right there. Okay, let's get this back to 0. There's 0. And looks like we're about a 1/4 inch off here. Scooch it up about half of the distance, and we'll try this again. Zero. It looks like we're about 12th thou off. Put it on the 6 and see where we're at. 0. Like we're about 4.5 off. Yep, 4.5 off, so 2.25. 0 that. Should be 0 on the other side now. 0. 0 out front, wow. And 0 in the back. So, we are 724. Seems to me I see in a 725 dimension here. I'm confused. So we're looking at it that way. I got too many drawings out here now. So, yep, there it is, 725 to the center of the slot. So that was dialed in on Y. I got 724.6 right now. Okay. Now we need to find the dimension on X. Which I believe is the same as the... I think they're in line. Because when you look at this, at one of the drawings it showed it. Yeah, right here. And it shows that screw right in line, and it actually even calls out 440 2 places tapped, and it's pointing to that center line. So it's in the same center line as the valve porthole. Valve guide. Trying to remember what that dimension was. Okay. And we are looking at it from the top. So it's 789. Bear with me. Yep, 789 thousandths. And that should be, put us on the center line of that. Let's try it. 0 RX. 789. And I'm just going to put the drill chuck in there and just bring it down just to check. Just to double check myself. So, take the indicator out. I'm a little slow. A little slow. I'm blaming on the weather. The cold has slowed me down. We must have had a lot of deer out on our feeding trough because it was empty this morning. Santa stopped for Rudolph to get some snacks. So this would be correct right there, 789. So what I'm going to take and do, I'm going to zero that there. Yep, I'm going to zero that, and that's where we're going to put the hole. I really thought that I had drilled one before I did, right here, before I discovered that the slots were not quite right. And I had to go back and modify it. What happened was I didn't go far enough out, so I had a radius on the breakouts. We can't have that because that block has got to fit in there, so I went back and finished and fixed that. And now we're back to drilling. This is to hold the rocker tower or rocker mount block goes in there. It's a 1/440 screw holds it into that slot. That should be deep enough. All I need is 1.5 times the diameter for maximum thread strength. That's what you're gonna need. So I got plenty, I think. All right, I'll take this out of there so that's out of the way. Put this in the chuck. Bring it down. And then turn it in. I did put some LED on that tab. This is Christmas Day. I was going to come out last night after church, but I didn't. We opened presents, and by the time we got done with that, it was a little late, so. All right, and there's just one hole. on each side. So now we need to go over to the other side. Flip it 180. And then go to incremental. Crank this to 0. Let's put the drill in here and see what I come up with on X before I go over there. And it was supposed to be 789. Correct? Yep, 789, and it does look like we're a little off, and it looks like about 10 thou off is what we are, 789. And I'm going to 0 that on absolute. That way I know where to go. And then 0 on the other. That'll put it in the center of the slot. Right there. And drill a hole. Center drill. And then drill. I ended up last night having to pull the sister-in-law out of the ditch. She turned in the wrong spot and went into the ditch last night and got stuck in the snow right after church. And so I hunted for a rope. I don't have a rope, so the only thing I had was some chains, so I took the chain and had my wife drive down there with her vehicle and hooked the chain up and slowly tightened it up. I didn't jerk it or anything, and it pulled out real easy. I told my wife, put it in low four-wheel lock. It didn't spin or slip or nothing. It just pulled it right out. So, little excitement. Laying down on the highway, getting underneath her vehicle to put a chain on. It was no place to hook up underneath on the newer vehicles. Geez, it'd go all the way up by the axle, by the I don't know what you call it, A-frame, swing arm, and I hooked onto that and slowly pulled it out. Told her on the way home, now go on the right approach. Then I got stopped by the cop because apparently she had called the police station before she called me, and they stopped me and wanted to know what was going on and if I was helped somebody out of the ditch. And I go, yeah. They were right on the ball. They were doing their job though, because if it would have been somebody with nobody to help them, it was cold. It was like 15 or 20 below. It was cold. Anyway. So, I mean, somebody could very well die in a situation like that. 2 or 3 vehicles, as we were coming up on her, 2 or 3 vehicles just winged on by, didn't slow down at all, and like not very neighborly or whatever. I see somebody in the ditch, at least stop and see if I can help. At least give them a ride somewhere. All right. Looks right. Looks right to me. If it ain't, it should have been. All right, now we'll line the next one up. Let's show you how I line the next one up. Grab the next one and take the dowel pins and stick them in the valve guide holes. They're snug. Tap them in, 1/8 inch dowel. And one dowel is oversized dowel, so it's so it's a little bit larger than in diameter than the other. Put it in there. See, now next time, if I were to make another one of these engines, and I save this tool, I can go in there and set my tool off of the height, off of the pads that we got here, so I know what height that it needs to be at. I always save when I make an engine like that, I save the tools. Not that I'm going to make another one, but I have the tools if I have a part that goes bad, or or something that, because like for the Little Demon V8, I've got the setup fixtures for the engine block, the manifold, crankshaft, the cylinder or the heads, the cylinder heads. I have all those fixtures. I've got those still sitting on the shelf, waiting for me to build another one. I got 2 of them that I built. They're sitting on the shelf. I got videos of them running. That I built those 2 engines, the Little Demons, while I was still employed. So it was a lot of times just the only time I worked on them was on the weekends, and maybe after work, after supper for a little bit. So it took me almost 2 years of dinking around before I got them built. I'm hoping to get this one built a little quicker than 2 years, but you never know. .440 tap with my little knurled tap handle. The knurling is actually wearing off of this little brass tap handle here. Need to make me a new one. They sure work nice when you do it like this for small threads, small screw threads. I've got another one that's a little smaller in diameter for taps down to odd 80s. And 440 ain't even really all that small. The odd 80s and 172s are the ones that are, I consider small. Come on out of there. A chip hanging up on it, I'll get it later. The threading chip in the hole. Okay, so I should be able to flip the incremental and go to 0. And crank that 6th thou over that I was off. So, right there. I really think that being off only, I mean, you could have plus or minus 20 or 30 or 40 even on that, and I think it'd still be fine.